In the realm of human curiosity, there's a seductive pull towards the paranormal, a desire to tempt fate and to toy with forces beyond comprehension. Yet, this flirtation with the unknown often carries a steep price. The following story is based on real-life events. It is a cautionary tale about 4 friends who chose to dance with the supernatural, shedding light on the chilling consequences of playing with forces that defy the natural order of the world, and reminding us that some doors are best left unopened.
It was an unusual night, with my parents away on a rare weekend trip, leaving us with the entire house to ourselves. The dinner choice was a no-brainer: pizza, of course. We gathered around the living room, forming a tight-knit circle in front of the TV, our arms wrapped in cozy blankets and a big bowl of popcorn within arm's reach. The eerie and suspenseful allure of The Conjuring movie series was our chosen entertainment, and the dimly lit room only heightened the spine-tingling atmosphere. Emily, Sophia, Mia, and I had been inseparable since our elementary school days. We'd been through thick and thin, supported each other through heartbreaks and triumphs, and created countless memories that we'd cherish forever. But little did we know, things would forever change that night. Despite the eerie atmosphere created by the films, our group was firmly rooted in skepticism. We watched with a mix of amusement and disbelief as the supernatural events unfolded on screen. Sophia, with her infectious laughter, couldn't help but crack jokes about the characters' decisions and logic, while Emily, the adventurous one, teased us for our lack of belief in anything beyond the tangible world. Mia, our voice of reason, calmly pointed out logical explanations for the eerie occurrences, but she still seemed spooked by the events portrayed in the movies. As for me, I maintained my stance as the resident skeptic, insisting that there had to be a rational explanation for every spooky event portrayed. And that's when I remembered what my parents had discussed with the previous owner when we purchased her home. In a hushed, trembling voice, she told my parents about the basement, emphasizing that we should never venture down there after dark. She claimed a restless spirit dwelled there, a ghostly presence. My parents thanked her for the cautionary tale, and inwardly we dismissed it as the overactive imagination of an elderly woman. Ever since we moved here, we had only used the basement for storage, as it was unfinished and had no electricity, and we didn't have the need for additional space. My groups of friends, being the skeptics we were, scoffed at the idea of my basement being haunted, and we decided to play a little game of spin the bottle. The penalty? The unlucky one had to venture into the basement and investigate the ghostly rumor of the elderly woman. Laughter filled the room as the bottle pointed to Emily, our adventurous soul. Emily, always up for a challenge, accepted with a grin. Armed with a flashlight and her bravado, she descended into the eerie depths, the rest of us watching in suspense. We giggled nervously as she descended into the gloom, the creaky stairs echoing with every step. It was a game, we reminded ourselves. But as the minutes passed and Emily's footsteps echoed faintly from below, we couldn't help but wonder if there might be a grain of truth to the basement's haunted reputation after all. Time crawled by, and we heard strange noises emanating from the abyss below. We called out to Emily, our voices echoing through the dimly lit basement, and our anxiety was initially eased by the relief of hearing her response. However, as her voice gradually receded into the murky depths, each syllable seemed to carry with it a chilling uncertainty that set our hearts pounding. The further her voice ventured into the unknown, the more the unsettling reality of our situation began to sink in. We were now enveloped in an eerie silence, wondering if we had unwittingly stirred something beyond our comprehension. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, a scream that sent chills down our spines. Desperation gripped us as we called out to Emily, the weight of the oppressive silence growing with each unanswered plea. At first, as Emily's silence persisted, we couldn't help but exchange nervous glances and uneasy chuckles. We had known her to be quite the prankster, always ready with a witty jest or a clever trick up her sleeve. Perhaps, we reasoned, she was merely indulging in one of her notorious jests, trying to make the dare even more suspenseful. We half expected her to pop out from behind a corner with a triumphant grin, declaring herself the winner of the Best Practical Joke Award. But as minutes turned into a seemingly endless hour, and our calls remained met with nothing but the unsettling echoes of our own voices, doubt crept in. The playful banter faded, replaced by growing concern etched on our faces. Our initial amusement gave way to a gnawing uncertainty. Still, we desperately clung to the hope that Emily would soon reappear, laughing at her successful prank. We tried to reassure ourselves, reminding each other of her mischievous nature, yet an uneasiness lingered in the pit of our stomachs. We exchanged anxious glances, each of us silently contemplating the prospect of descending into the murky depths below. Yet, none of us dared to take that fateful step. Fear gripped us with icy fingers, freezing us in our tracks. The stories and legends surrounding the basement's haunted reputation had taken root in our minds, and the unspoken question loomed: what if there was more to those tales than mere superstition? As the night wore on, exhaustion began to take its toll, but our troubled minds refused to grant us respite. We lay there outside the basement door, our bodies and minds weary from fear and uncertainty. Despite our best attempts to remain awake, the unrelenting exhaustion finally overwhelmed us. One by one, we fell asleep, our dreams infused with the hope that by morning, Emily would emerge victorious from the enigmatic depths below, her laughter ringing through the house as she playfully mocked our cowardice. When we awoke the next day, Emily was nowhere to be found. Panic set in as we dreaded entering that sinister basement. With trembling hands and racing hearts, we finally managed to gather our wits enough to call her parents. The police arrived before they did, their flashlights piercing the darkness of the basement, knowing there was no electricity down there. The air was heavy with a metallic tang, a nauseating mixture of iron and decay. The faint, distant echoes of their radio communications seemed to hang in the air, a haunting juxtaposition to the morbid tableau they were about to encounter. As the beam of a flashlight swept across the room, it revealed the gruesome and heart-wrenching scene that would forever haunt their memories. There, in a remote corner, lay the lifeless body of our dear friend, Emily. Her once vibrant form was now a stark and chilling contrast against the cold, unforgiving concrete floor, drenched in a pool of blood, as if the very walls had borne witness to an unspeakable tragedy. Emily's eyes, wide open and unblinking, held an expression of sheer terror, as if in her final moments she had witnessed something so profoundly horrifying that it had frozen her in a state of perpetual terror. The officers, accustomed to witnessing the darkest aspects of human nature, couldn't conceal the shock and sorrow that washed over their faces. They approached the harrowing scene with a palpable sense of solemnity, knowing that they had stumbled upon a puzzle of unspeakable horror. Despite their best efforts, the police investigation yielded no logical explanation for the horrors that unfolded within the confines of the basement. There were no signs of forced entry or struggle, and no discernible motive for such a heinous act. The absence of fingerprints or any tangible evidence only deepened the enigma. In the end, they reluctantly closed the case, leaving us, Emily's friends, and her devastated family to grapple with a painful and chilling void of unanswered questions. 6 long, agonizing years have since passed, and yet the heavy weight of that night's events remains etched upon our hearts and minds. Time, they say, can heal wounds, but for us, the wounds remain raw, forever altering the course of our lives. The memory of Emily's wide-open eyes continues to torment us every day, ensuring that we can never truly escape the legacy of that fateful night, where the innocent dare we set in motion unwittingly led to the untimely demise of our dearest friend, deep within the ominous confines of that dreaded basement.
inexplicable and the paranormal, while undeniably fascinating, can also carry unimaginable risks. The story we shared today is a stark reminder that some forces are best left alone. For delving into the supernatural world can reveal secrets we are ill-equipped to face and can lead to dire consequences. Whether it's a haunted basement or a malevolent presence, the line between curiosity and danger can blur in an instant. If you enjoyed the story, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps us going and helps others discover these incredible urban legends and paranormal stories. We also want to hear your paranormal experiences. Share them with us at voiceofdarkness666@gmail.com, and they may feature in future episodes. Thank you for joining our journey into the unknown.